In this video, I want to tell you how to customize the generic macro file and use the color codes that you want to use in your Excel files. Okay, in order to get the file, you just go to Professor Edward Bodmer website. So once again, as I said in my previous video, this tool has been developed by Professor Edward Bodmer. So you go to Professor Bodmer's website at edbodmer.com, and then you scroll down, and here you download the file, generic macro. You just save it somewhere on your desktop or in one of your folders. And so you come and you open the file that you want to format together with the generic macro file. So both of them, you open both of them together in parallel. So I have this file open, the generic macro file open, and I have also my model that I want to format open. Okay, so first of all, you come in the generic macro file and you press on implement and initialize. Then you come to one of your sheets that you want to format, like the previous time. In order to, for the pop-up window to open, you use the shortcut key Control Alt and C. So you see that you have these options open. In the previous video, we went through one by one all the columns and all the options that you have here and explain each of them. So today we want to see how to use for each of these options. Edward has provided flexible option as well. Flexible title, flexible input, flexible flags, flexible this for the imported rows and lines. So today we want to see how to use these flexible options. Okay, so let's say that, for example, you are building the model for the let's say you're building it for this Finance Energy Institute. Okay, so you come and you find the logo, for example, here, and you save it as image, desktop. Okay, so you basically want to kind of either, the institution that you are building the model for, or is it's your own institution, is the company that you work for, or is it you are building it for someone else, someone else's company or institution. Either they tell you the color codes that they are using. If they already have some, generic color codes that they use, you ask it to them, so please provide me your color codes. Or if they don't have, you kind of make your own color codes for them. And it's kind of nice somehow to match the color codes with the logo of the company. So for example, we want to use this one, the Energy Finance Institute, with these three colors. Okay, so the first thing we need to do is to come and pick the color codes for this one. I usually use this add-in under Google Chrome called Eyedropper. And it basically just gets the color from any web page. Okay, so for example, I come here and I say, give me the color for this one. Okay, so it tells you exactly what are the color code for this color that I picked. I'm going to do the same thing for the orange. Okay, and then I have the exact colors for the orange one, and I'm going to do for the black one. I mean, we just want to be very precise to see what shades of black and orange they're using. Okay, so now I have it here. I come back to let me save this one, RGB. Okay, so I will come back to the generic macro file. I'm not going to press Control Alt and C right now. I'm going to first input this data in the generic macro. So you come to the generic macro and you go to the page called default values. Okay, so that's where the magic happens. So you come here. I would not recommend that you change the inputs. I think the input options that Ed is providing us are very generic ones, and what you see in the market are mainly the option 1, option 2, and option 3. I have seen these 3 options in most of the models. You don't want to go really like pink or other colors. I think these 3 will do. So for the inputs, I would always go with these 3 colors. But for the column title, that's where you can just customize it and use your own. So you see here, so that's where you have to change. You have to basically just come here and define the color code that you want in this flex color. So from the website, I know it's 4, 123, 135. I hope you remember, because I won't. Okay, that's why I put it here. So I'm gonna come here and I will define the color code that I want. So RGB, 4 for red, 123 for green, and 135 for blue. Okay, so that's exactly the color. So I'm gonna come and say color it like this for me, and I mainly want the fonts to be white so it's more visible, and the font whatever I want. So Cambria is good, or Times New Roman sometimes, or Arial, it's visible. All right, Arial, okay, and the size I want it to be a little bit bigger, like 10. Okay, perfect. So that's what I'm going to choose for the flex color for the titles. For the sum color, I like this gray one in the flex one, so I will keep it. And for the border, I will choose, you saw that we have the option for the border. So I will choose the border when I press the Control, Alt, and C, that's where I'm going to pick up the border that I want. For the flag, I usually go with the lighter green. Okay, so I like this one, and this gray one is fine. So this seems to be good enough for me for the flag. Let me see if I pick the right one. The lightest green. Okay, perfect. Right, that will do. Next one for the imported lines, I usually go with the second one, green font, not the green background, cell background. Green font will do, or any of these. But if you want to customize it, you can basically choose the flex option. The other option that Ed has, and I think is very useful, is to take the color from the sheet. For example, if you have a tab that you colored it as purple, and you have another tab that you colored it as pink, and then you come and you basically link one of the sheets to this pink and purple sheet, it will color code the lines that are coming from the purple one as purple and the lines that are coming from the pink one as pink. So I like this option if you have different multicolor tabs. Okay, but most of the time we don't put many colors. I usually put like colors for the input tabs and color for the output tabs. So I would just to visually identify these two type of worksheets. But that's also a good option. So you can go with the take color from sheet, or you just pick one of these, or as I said, you can just be flexible and use define your own color codes here. For the top row dashboard, remember in the previous video, so this is the top rows in your worksheets that you want to color them differently. I will go with the same one that I choose for the title. Okay, so I will exactly pick the same one and input it here. Content menu, I'm not sure exactly what it is, this one. I think this is for the table of content when we produce, but I'm not sure. But anyways, I'm going to color it the same as the previous one. Now that I have defined everything, I will just implement and initialize this one. And I will go back now to my worksheet. Okay, so I know that in the flex option, I have that green blue color that matches the logo of the company. So I come here and I say Control Alt and C. Excuse me, Control Alt and C. And we see our familiar pop-up window. As I said, for the inputs, I usually go with one of these three. So let's go with the second one. For the title, this time we go with the flex. For the sum color, we go with the flex, but we need to input where the sum column is. For me, the sum column is in the H. So I'm going to come here and type H. Usually, I think that this is intelligent enough to identify which one it is, So usually it does understand exactly where you are putting the sum one, where your calculation starts. But if not, just make sure that it picks up the right column for the sum. And as I told you, for the border, I'm going to come, and I like these light dots. I'm going to choose the light dots. Okay. The next one for the flags, I'm going to go exactly with the flex one. Remember, I said the light green one and the gray one. So it's going to pick up that one. And these are checked. So I'm fine. And my calculation starts in column J. So it's perfect. And I wanted to also mark links that are coming from other sheets. And I wanted to color it in green. Perfect. The next one is the top row in the dashboard or in any other sheets. I will also choose the flex option. So now that I've everything ready, the last thing I want to do is to click on the color sheet so that it implements all the formatting that I defined here. So as you can see, beautiful, perfect. So this is the outcome of the modification. As you can see now, this is giving us these color codes that I've defined, and you can repeat it, in the other sheets. Control Alt C. You already done the inputting the data that you want, so you just need to come here and press color sheet, and repeat the same process for all the worksheet in your model. So all the worksheet will have the same formatting. Okay, so you repeat that for the other sheets, and it's going to be harmonized across your worksheet. The last thing that I want to show you today is how to use the generic macro to create a table of content. So what you're going to do is that you're going to come and create a new sheet. Okay, simply just create a new one, and you can call it table of content. Okay. And then you come again, you press Control Alt and C, and as you can see here on the top left, you have Run Table of Contents. Okay, or there is this Control Alt T shortcut as well. So you press on this one, and this is just fine. Maybe I will go with the flex one. So maybe that's where it's going to pick up the colors codes that I defined. We will see. And then we say Control and create a table of content. What I love about this is that it's going to create this table of content, the number of worksheets that you have, the name of the worksheets, the links to each of the sheets in the model. So it's just beautiful, this table of content. All right, so you see it gives us the table of content with the link to each of the worksheet, with the link to each of the subheadings that you have. And it gives you this default confidentiality and disclaimer, and we will go back and change this one to the logo of the company that we want, and it even gave us the color codes. You see, it's so smart that it even picked up the color code. So amazing, right? So we're just going to go and change this one. You can do it automatically in the table of before running the table of content. You could have done it. So let's repeat that. Let me clean all this stuff and repeat it again, and this time I'm gonna insert the logo. So I'm gonna come before running the table of content. I'm gonna come here in this here it's called color codes, in the sheet called color codes. I'm gonna come and I'm gonna change the picture. Here the Elvis picture, I'm gonna change the Elvis picture to my logo. Okay, that's it. And then I don't know if I have to initialize, but I will initialize anyway. And then I'm going to come in my sheet that I call the new sheet. I'm going to come in my new sheet, and I'm going to press Control Alt and C. And this time run the table of content, maybe use the flex one, and that's it, run the table of content. So this time it's going to give us the same thing, the color codes, the table of content, the disclaimer, together with the logo. Okay, let's see. Perfect. You see, so you have everything that you want. You can even call it cover sheet, this one. So you have a disclaimer. If you want to change the disclaimer and put your own disclaimer, do it. And your logo, as I said, you can do it. And these are all the headings. So you see, for example, if you want to go quickly to this sheet, it's going to take you. It's just very dynamic. And it creates this table of content as well. So that's about customization of the generic macro file. And let me know what you think and how you use this generic macro file. This is something that I use every day. Every time that I open any Excel file, I open this generic macro with it, and I found it really incredible. So I hope you also enjoy it. And thank you.